Hello, I'm Glorious Liar, and this is the first video of a new glitch explanation series that I am starting. I have been messing around in Donkey Kong 64, dabbling in glitch hunting and speedrunning since 2015. I have a similar passion for other retro Nintendo games, but nothing compares to my love for DK64. Ever since I saw glitches being exploited to beat the game as fast as possible, I've been intimately curious about the mechanics of how they work. In this series, I will be explaining glitches and exploits, how they work, and how they might be applied. Let's begin. Donkey Kong 64 is infamous for its abundance of glitches and exploits. Some of them never see the light of day in speedruns, typically because they are impractical or hard to pull off. Today I want to focus on one of the coolest exploits in the game that is relatively easy to perform and abuses one simple game object, the cannon. First, let me show you an uninterrupted video of what I'm talking about. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I did. Now, to the explanation. Cannons are interactable objects that typically work in a consistent and straightforward way. You simply walk into them, and they shoot you to a new location. To understand them, though, we need to briefly talk about animation states. The animation that a Kong is in is represented by a hexadecimal half-word in memory. For example, when DK is spinning in the air from a cannon shot, he is in state 0x5D, 0 is omitted. And when he skids to a stop after landing, he is in state 0x5E. When a Kong enters a cannon, they are put in the same movement state as they are in a tag barrel. This freezes their position, makes them invisible, and uninteractable. As soon as the cannon fires, they are put in the spinning animation. And upon landing, they are put in the skidding to a stop animation, before going idle. Each Kong's hex value for its animation is different, but they all follow the same pattern. Now not every cannon shot is the same, and the mid-flight trajectories vary quite a bit. There are 12 cannons in the game. I want to show you each of their trajectories. There are 2 in DK Isles, one in Japes, one in Galleon, 4 in Fungi, and 4 in the King Cutout boss. As you can see, not all shots are equal, for obvious reasons. Each shot needs to cause a landing at a specific location. Now this turns out to be somewhat irrelevant to the exploit, but it's useful to compare a normal trajectory to an abnormal one. Now, time for the cool part. The trick I'm going to be explaining is what I like to call Moonshot. When Kongs enter a cutscene, typically their XZ movement is locked, but their Y movement is unlocked. If you interrupt a cannon shot with the start of a new cutscene, something strange happens. The Kong is stopped in place in the air, but the Y movement is still unlocked. The animation state transitions from X to X+1, where X is the Kong-specific hex value, denoting a change from spinning to skidding. For some odd reason, this interaction causes a large spike in the change in Y position. By interrupting the cannon shot with freeing Diddy, DK transitions from 0x5D to 0x5E, and this causes the change in Y, or DY, to be 2,324.797 units for 5 consecutive physics frames. For example, doing it as DK in Japes. Here is a comparison of the 2 trajectories, side by side. As you can see, the height gain is almost instantaneous. With this kind of height, you can reach areas thought to be impossible. There are 2 other moonshots that are known to be possible. Theoretically, it should work on any cannon, given a sufficient cutscene to interrupt it with. These ones are the best suited for it. This next moonshot involves Chunky and Sniper Scope. Let it be noted that the Japes moonshot is much easier with Sniper Scope as well. Sniper Scope is more important here, however, because it allows another glitch, switch storage. If you shoot a switch at a distance where it is normally unloaded by using sniper scope, its corresponding cutscene will be delayed until your camera enters its proximity. By storing Chunky's pineapple switch and entering the fungi cannon, the camera transition loads the switch, interrupting the shot and causing an animation transition similar to in Japes. For Chunky, his state goes from 0x21E to 0x21F. This causes a DY of 7,301.856 units for 6 frames. For reference, Hideout Helm is roughly 1,750 units above the origin, and the Fungi Forest platform is roughly 950 units above zero. This gets you to nearly 45,000. This trick is especially cool because an effect of being out of bounds in specific areas causes the screen to not refresh constantly. Every special effect that occurs during this is just layered on top of each other, creating some cool visual art. If you have good movement and don't go so far out of bounds that you void warp, you can reach the highest places in DK Isles with ease. Now for the last exploit that I'd like to share. Using switch storage on the grape switch behind K Lumsy, Lanky, or any other Kong if you tag, can enter the castle cannon with a fairly precise position and camera such that the shot gets interrupted by the cutscene. The result is that Lanky ends up perfectly on top of the helm platforms. Mechanically, this shot is different from the other moonshots, and the result of landing by helm is by pure coincidence in the fact that it is in the line of sight of the cannon. Normally, when you shoot to castle, you hit a load trigger in the sky that is tied to the cannon cutscene. By interrupting the cannon shot, this trigger does not activate, and the natural conclusion of the shot occurs. The trajectory is just perfect enough that you land in a very useful spot. From here, you could enter helm early. That's it for this video. I will be back with a new DK64 explanation video in the near future. If you liked this video, please let me know in the comments, and if you are so inclined, subscribe to see the rest of the videos in the series. Before I go, quick shoutouts to a few people in the DK64 community who helped make this video possible. Isotarge for his suite of Lua tools, ScriptHawk, that make visualizing this data so easy. Also, TJ and CFox who showed off these exploits long ago, and they've stuck with me ever since. I did not personally make many of the discoveries in this video, so I couldn't have done it without the community. Thanks for watching.